this guy, this little flying. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is we're continuing, we're sort of working on details. There's a couple of things compositionally. I'm going to return to the black and white so you guys can really see this. Notice how, now these are a little bit darker, my base in the light parts, but it's important to kind of recognize in the composition the importance that this light plays in the painting, right? We really need this here. It's going to show, and it's going to kind of, you're going to see as you add it in, how it kind of relates to these little highlights that are here, how kind of like the warmth, right, of certain areas is going to be warmed by this background. So I want us to make sure that we really emphasize this part. We don't just dot in the lights. There is a significant, like maybe a third of this composition is light. And as we're pushing that, I want you to be pushing this contrast, right? This is really heavy and dark. The other thing is we'll be working on fur texture as always. And the challenge here is that, he's got there's a lot of midtones, right? There's some darks and lights, but there's more midtones. So the trick is going to be how to kind of convey, really, we're going to be working on fur textures, and I'll be working right along with you. I'm not quite sure I have the answer until I start working on it, on how to sort of deal with conveying fur without having to paint every fur, every piece of fur. So mine is definitely out of phase where it needs, I think I'd like to start with the glaze. So Diana, any thoughts? My glaze, what should my glaze be for this one?
Oh, for that one?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I would actually do purple. But...
I knew you were going to say that, yes.
Why did you know I would say that?
Because you and I think alike on color. Thank you. Yeah, but I was curious to see if you would say anything else. So, right. And why would you pick purple, actually? Why would you pick purple? What's the thought process behind that?
The thought process is that it would, to start with, mute the colors you already have there.
Yes, yes. So there are good yes, purple will, like if I did a warm glaze like red or burnt sienna or something, or orange, I've already got those colors in this base. So I'm looking for something to darken and mute, and then I can pull my lights out of it.
Yep.
Right. And there's a little bit of depth. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to mix some purple. I don't know about you. Does anybody want to send theirs in? Does anybody else think they need a glaze? I bet you everyone can use a glaze. It's the stage of the game.
Look at these guys.
Oh, hold on. I'm popping this up.
It always ends badly, though.
Oh. I've seen your cats do that. They're always running around, like getting into.
This is Lion taking care of Rabbit. Rabbit is very much his baby.
Oh my God.
And Rabbit comes and requests this at least once a day.
You're kidding.
They sometimes sleep together, but it always ends badly.
Oh,
does Lion get fed up, or?
No, it's Rabbit who gets fed up, but Lion
he gets overstimulated. He gets overstimulated.
Yeah.
Look at his face, though. He's look at that. Oh,
it's like bliss.
Oh, sorry. I just have to look for a second. That's really cute. I love that kind of glazed, slightly stoned look. Oh my God, endless entertainment.
I see.
Oh yeah, I see it. It's already starting to happen. He's like, I don't know. Stop now, stop. But Dragon is the real baby, right?
So Dragon actually was brought up like that by Rabbit, but now
they don't.
Now we rabbit. It's I see.
Oh, there we go. There it is. It's happening. But this is all part of the game.
Slapped on the face for his troubles.
Cats are just fantastic. What here, whoops. I just want to.
Don't fight, guys. It's okay. You were very kindly. Oh.
Yes, you were having a great time. All right, so I'm going to mix a little, my sort of standard mix for purple. I don't actually happen to have any purple, so I'm going to mix quinacridone red with ultramarine blue to make a glaze. I want to use ultramarine blue because it's warm. It's the warmer blue. And I'm going to use a pretty big brush. I'm just going to mix it with my brush, right? So I've got a little bit of, it's kind of a warmy purple. Hi, buddy. Speaking of mine. Kind of a warmish purple, but I think that's okay there. So see, I'm getting a kind of really dark, rich color. And yeah, I'm gonna, now notice I got a lot of too much paint on there. So I just dipped my brush in water. Instead of taking the paint off, I'm dipping my brush in water and kind of spreading it down. And I'm okay. I might also, actually, what I'd really like to do is take off the tape I had last week so I can start to get some of these rich colors. Look at, here's my biggest problem right there. That's where the tape was. It's the problem with these boards. You can't really, so I want to get some color in there because I'm going to need to get some layers in for that to catch up. So anybody else planning on glazing? Look at what that does. It's so in some ways it makes the painting kind of ugly. This is why people like if you're a real control freak, this stage might bother you. I'm actually wiping off most of in the light areas, but look at what happens when I pull the lights out. It starts to really show you how your lights are going to look. It looks kind of murky and dark. And what's nice is then when you put your light colors on, it's going to really pop in a beautiful way. But it does look kind of murky and dark, but this is like it. This is the perfect painting surface to kind of finish your paintings and give them more depth. This is something that I don't think feels very intuitive to most people as they're painting. They look at the painting after doing this and go, I ruined it, right? But we know differently. So yeah, who else? Let's see. Anik, I think you could use a purple glaze too.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it because the colors that I have on his hair, their fur simply are too bright.
Well, yeah, and I think it'll just darken those and then you can go back in with our top colors. I haven't really looked at like the sort of final colors. What about you, Annika?
Yeah, I might.
Water. No, don't drink.
And I know, Sandra, you're working with watercolor, so it's a different.
So I haven't started painting it yet.
Oh, great. Okay. So how are you planning to start your layers?
I don't know. I mean,
Oh
I'm
my
just.
God, I'm glad you feel just like me today. I'm like, I don't know. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
I thought I might do a grisaille.
Oh, great idea. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, because you can put anything on top of that. And the big, as you know, the big point is to be really careful with this. You know, the other thing you could do is kind of a light burnt sienna, yellowish wash, because you can layer the oranges kind of over the top.
Right.
Your grisaille might be a little too dark and heavy.
I wouldn't do a grisaille. It would be
like out here.
The wings and maybe
Yeah,
part
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you could try for that, and then I would say maybe go to a kind of a warm yellow, maybe gamboge. Some kind of warm light
I have
yellow.
many things. Gamboge is. Oh, you mean afterwards put the gamboge?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean, I'm talking for your base
You mean the gamboge as
layer.
the initial layer?
Yeah, as the initial layer. You
the-
could do it everywhere because you can definitely lay grays on top and of yellow and it'll look great. My concern is that you want to maintain the brightness, right? So maybe starting with a yellow or a light orange wash in here, which you then layer up. Yeah, that's my thought. I mean, I don't, you know, my thought is that the gray might mute out some of this warmth here in the watercolor. Of course, we're totally doing that here. Yep.
But
Yeah,
rather
and
it always seems to me, I never use it for fur. It seems to me too bright yellow.
but you can cover it
More
up,
of a
right?
family of what is it called? The ochres.
But you can cover it up with other colors and it'll like,
Check it
it's
out
not
now.
gonna get in the way. Yeah, try it, test it. I mean, that's the big thing, right? To lay down one color on top of another and see off on top of the gamboge to see if you can layer up.
But I haven't painted it ages.
And look at this, I'm gonna just take a picture of this because I know you guys can kind of see it, but I really. Look at the carbon, that's a good carbon. I like what I want you to really get how murky and mucky, but how much more interesting this looks now. So really what's happening is we're starting with our base layers. And then as we glaze, right, you can see there's all this dark kind of in and around under the fur. And I think what people try to do is they try to like add this little dark in on top, and we know that doesn't work, right? We know that just looks like dirty little smudges everywhere. But if you start with this kind of rich, darker base, and then you lay light on top, the dark will come through, right? And that's, I think, the counterintuitive thing about it. So anyway, that's how my little baddie, my little fox looks. And now let's see. I'm going to start laying down some colors on my palette that I might use on the top. Definitely, I'm going to put cadmium yellow. Here. Just went to the art store and got a whole, you know, that feeling when you just got all the new art supplies. It's so exciting. Got a ton of canvases. I had a studio sale last week and it went really well, which was great. And now I'm out of paintings again. So I bring a bunch more, right? Like big ones. It's the big ones. Yeah, I was really happy. It was neat.
So
We had people.
yeah, no. I just gonna ask you if you've tried this paint, Leah.
Which one?
Golden's slow drying.
I have tried those. I have tried them. Are you working with them?
You know, to mix in with the others is good.
It's kind of nice because it a little bit mimics that.
Yeah.
I agree. It mimics that. Okay, here. So I'm trying to get everything in here so you can also see the palette.
I bought
Yeah,
it
I
by
have.
mistake.
I
I bought
tend
it by mistake.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what usually happens to me. I tend to forget, right? Like that I have it, and then if I have it, I'm always like, oh, that's kind of nice. That's nice. Let me know how you like it, Diana.
I like it. I mean, I like it because you can keep on using the same paint easily for 2-3 days.
Right. Also, you're in LA and it's so dry there that like your paint, your acrylic will probably dry slower than mine will, just simply because of your weather. And so anything that retards the drying process is useful, I think. All right, I've got some ochre in there. I'm gonna add some burnt sienna. burnt umber. Of course, a little ultramarine blue. I like these lavenders that you have in here, Ani, in yours. And I'm actually noticing that I have a little bit of this funky lavender here, so I'm going to throw that in as well. I also found this other color I'm really enjoying working with. It's called ultramarine. Where are you? It's called ultramarine blue light, and look at it.
Oh, yeah, it's got a bit more purple, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of white. A lot of white, right? It's much
So
like
why would you
Like a
want,
lavender almost.
why
like-
would you want to buy that when you can just add your own white?
well, it's not just white. It definitely has a slightly different tinge. You know, Diane, I think I bought it by accident. And then I was like, what? I didn't mean to get this. And then I started playing around with it. It's kind of fun to have these kind of light colors. Yeah, normally I'm a big fan of mixing, but like I was like, oh, this is sort of fun. Here, I'll pop this out. So I'm just putting them on the side here, thinking, oh, if I could use them. Sometimes it's fun. I mean, you know, we have all the materials, all the colors available to us. And while it's good to stay true to your palette and stick with the, I don't know, 10 colors that you can make everything with, and I want everybody to know how to do that, then sometimes it's fun to throw in something else into the mix. Just like you were saying, with like your slow drying, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, it's nice to have this different material that makes me think and react a little differently. Hold on, trying to get this out. So let's see. I think probably a little bit of white, maybe some Naples yellow. Definitely ultramarine blue. A little bit more ultramarine blue.
Hey, sunshine, you have to
The
look.
last little bits out of this tube. I think, actually, you know what, I think, Diana, somebody gave these to me. Like, they got them, they're oil painters, they're like, I can't really use them, but Leah uses acrylic. So, and then, so this is this thing called pale violet. A little bit of violet. Maybe Naples yellow. So because I'm a little bit slow this morning,
Nej, katten. Nej, ni kan nu. Ni kan nu.
I'm just kind of throwing out the colors I think I might use.
Vad jag säger.
We'll find out. So I've got 3 yellows. I've got Naples yellow. There we go. Naples yellow's got a little spot of blue on it. So this is what I've got. Now, what am I gonna do first? Good question. I think this might be a moment where I would want to add in some I would want to kind of brighten my background. So I'm going to take
I'm gonna
white
eat.
and a touch of cadmium yellow. Can't really see here. Here, I'm mixing it. I'm grabbing white and a touch of cadmium yellow. And I want to pop that in kind of more strongly. I don't like this brush. Notice that, oh, you can't see. Here. This brush makes a kind of mark. I immediately see that I don't like it. It's too rounded. See how it has these little round shapes? Some people really like that. This brush is like too rounded.
Let's see.
This brush for me is too rounded.
Oh, I see. No, I like the edges are the best bit of this flat one.
Yeah, you like that. Yes. So like, that's the point. You might really
That
love
seems to
it.
defeat the purpose to have them rounded.
It doesn't, I don't really like them, but other people, but you know, but that doesn't mean they're not great. It just means, and I think I got these brushes from one of those Rosemary brush deals where you just buy a
right.
bunch of their seconds and they
I haven't
send you
tried that
everything. I mean, they sent me a bunch of brushes. Like they sent one, this is one that's really hilarious. Here, let me show you. Look at this one. I mean, they send me stuff like this, right? I've never I'd never use this on my own. I'd never buy this. Do I like it? I don't know. It's maybe good for some things.
I find I have too many brushes already.
I
You
don't
must
have
have any more.
It
Yeah,
just
I have,
depends because you're.
I have so many brushes too.
I'm getting there. It was a long time I didn't do acrylic, so my acrylic stash needs to be brought up. I'm just looking at what brush I want to use. Don't like that one. Maybe this one. I might like this flat better. I'm gonna try it. So that's the thing. I'm kind of noticing. Now these are pretty sharp edges, right? So see how I'm kind of. Yeah, I like that better. It's so funny. This is just a me thing. This is how I prefer to make my marks. I like something that has a little bit more. So you can see now I'm starting to kind of push that contrast. So before I start working on my little guy, partly because I'm a little bit slow this morning, but also because I would like to see what happens as I add in kind of my big light areas now that I've glazed everything and kind of pushed it back a little bit. I want to see what that does for my little creature. It does some things, right? It does things. I like it. I actually like these big light areas. I used to be pretty much a purist. I was like more of a dark painter, but lately I've been really enjoying how I've been wanting to bring more light into my work, and I feel like it helps. I love how these lights sit on top. I'm just kind of working around. There's some neat fractal lights kind of happening in the background here. Also a touch of some sort of greener, because I need green first. Phthalo green. Spending a lot more time with the phthalo lately too.
Yeah, I like the phthalo.
Right, they do have a nice, if you can figure out how to control them, right? They do have a lovely vibrancy. That sometimes
Yeah,
is
they have
missing.
and they're so good to mix with.
Yes, they're a little cooler than
Yeah.
Viridian.
They're so good to mix with.
Viridian is a little bit more neutral. So if I'm going to mix any green, I'm going to mix yellow with, oh, down here, yellow with some of my phthalo. I'm also going to pull in a little bit of red because all my greens I mix with reds. All my landscape greens get a little bit of red in them. And then I have these kind of mid-tones I can add in too in places. So notice I'm just kind of working. I'm not trying to draw every shape. I'm not trying to make myself crazy, trying to exactly mimic what I see, but I'm just splashing in some mid-tone greens into my background to see what that does. And I think, look at what it's already doing. Oh, here's a drip. Very nice. Look at what that's already doing to my painting. Just working this background, kind of running around, adding a few of these, keeping that area dark, keeping this area a little bit lighter. It's kind of neat. Up here, there's kind of an orangey, kind of a lightish color. So I mix ochre and Naples yellow and a touch of burnt sienna, and that I think is kind of working nicely. The Naples yellow keeps it, and I'll probably get a little bit of that same color with a little bit more mix down here in my tree trunk. So I can get the light of that part of the tree trunk as well. It kind of extends a little bit over here. So you see how just working the background is really shifting things. So before I even, so this is good. It works with my mood today. I'm a little bit slow. Also, it's going to help me figure out what I actually need to do with my subject. I could use a little bit of dark, so I'm going to mix just green and red together. Getting a few more darks. Yeah, it's so interesting to me, this kind of balance. Now, what I'm doing here is kind of looking at the edges, like where the edges, the dark edges meet kind of light edges. And I'm coming in here and maybe adding in a little bit. Really where they define, like it's kind of dark here, dark here. A little bit darker. So I'm kind of looking at where these edges might run up either against my subject. First I added in light and midtones, and now I'm kind of going back in a couple places to add dark. I'm adjusting the color as I go along. Sometimes adding a little bit more yellow. Yeah, I don't know. I think, do you guys think it's a little improved, right? Even though we haven't really started working on the fox yet, see how those colors, and it's still pretty loose, right? It's still pretty loose. So that's the way of, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to kind of state the thinking process as I'm going through it. Sometimes I'm not really exactly sure what I'm doing, so I'm just doing it without really thinking about it. So I'm trying to describe it. And now I feel ready to come in, and really what I need to do is lighten this little guy. So I want to kind of work on, and to me, I see, let's see, I'm going to try a couple things. Is it like cadmium yellow and ochre? Is there a touch of white in there?
The wing on the right is almost the same kind of reddish purple as the ears, isn't it? Not quite, but I mean,
Yes, definitely. There's a little bit more burnt sienna, I would say, or quinacridone in here. Yeah. Yes, but close. Absolutely. So really, we need a bit of burnt sienna in the mix. I'm just going to lay a couple of pieces down, and I'm going to move this palette so I'm not leaning on it. Here, I'll put it over here so you can see it. So really what I'm doing is I'm kind of, no, that definitely needs to be lighter. I'm coming over here and looking at like how, see how I'm testing colors kind of against the background that's already there. I sort of like this one. What's in here? This has got like 3 colors. It's got burnt sienna, it's got yellow ochre, it's got cadmium yellow, and then it's got some white. This is not the brush I really want to use. I'm more just like, and then it gets a little bit oranger in the middle, so I can add more cadmium orange. It's really just kind of light. Lightest towards the end. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. And then there's this, of course, dark. But I don't want to use this tiny brush. This may be a point for the disabused fan, the cut up fan. Let's see what happens. I can. And I also want to be careful I don't. Yeah, kind of. See how I'm very lightly touching in, and then I'm sort of trying to blend into that medium. And look at how nicely those yellows and oranges sit on top of the dark murky that we made, that dark murky mess. I'm gonna jet this kind of light color, which is really 4 colors all mixed together. He has a little glow around him, kind of around the edge. Look at that. See how nice that looks? Just as and I think this fan, either cut up or not, I'm not going to make you ruin your fans like I do. I find fans a little frustrating, but I'm getting to see their value a bit more. So with these 3 yellows, I'm doing 2 things. I'm brightening. And notice I'm just kind of popping them in. The yellows that I'm picking, 1 or 2 of them are kind of neutral. And since I've got a little on my brush, I'm going to brush a little in. And notice that when I get to the dark area, now I'm probably going to have to go back over this again. But see how I'm trying to create a kind of dark, raggedy edge here, and I'm able to do that using that brush. Yeah, actually, this is not a bad beginning. Now I want to have a little bit of darker, so I'm going to mix burnt umber, burnt sienna, and a teeny touch of blue to create the darker. I don't want straight browns. It's too warm. Need something a little bit more shadowier. So now I'm gonna kind of drift that into these darker areas, kind of up into where the lighter areas are coming. As I'm adjusting it, I'm like, oh, need it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm brushing a little bit in the yellow mixture too. And then really where I'm pushing, I'll define my eyes kind of last. See how I'm like pushing, it's really the edge. Yeah, this is a good brush for this task. A brush with a ragged edge. See how, and I'm not saying it looks fantastic yet, but I'm just saying you've got to start somewhere and let it kind of be what it will be. I'm adding in more burnt sienna as I go through this. Lighter. In a few places, I'm kind of flipping in a lighter. Yeah, I like that. This is nice. So now that I've brushed in a little bit of texture color, I'm going to want to go in and deal with those eyes. So it's a little pointy brush for that, right? And what I can see is the eyes have a dark circle, almost like makeup around the edge. And then it's sort of browner here, and then there's these little light areas in between, and then around that. So I'll start with, let's see. I'll start with burnt umber and a little bit of ultramarine blue to get these. Then see, I'm actually leaving a little bit of space. It's easy when you're using one of these brushes to make your marks too big, so don't worry about that. Lay them down, and then we'll sort of minimize them with fur around the edge. So look at the difference already, just getting that circle in. The difference, now it might mean I've made my eyes a touch too big, so I'm going to, yeah. Also, I think they're a little too close together. So to fix that, I'm going to come in here. See how I'm bringing in my light to help. There's usually, when there's a dark area, like those dark circles, there's usually light right next to it. It's one of the reasons we notice it. We notice the dark because the lights are next to it. Yeah, and then I can push that this way. So nothing is set in stone, right? Just because I started out that way. Oh yeah, that looks better. See how I just moved that? And look at how I also made the eye smaller by using the fur texture around the edge. So I just scooted everything a little bit this way. Now I have all my colors on my palette, so I can kind of dip in. Let's see, there's like, I'm going to use a little bit of burnt sienna and white for this little bit here. I don't overdo it. Yep. A little bit goes a long way. Oh, look what that does. God, it's just so crazy. Painting is like this big, I don't know. I'm just always like, I just can't believe all it takes is that to make it going. Now I'm going to thin out the dark on the outside with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of my yellow mixture. See how I might have gotten too much in there, so I might have to go back in. But see how that completely starts to push the eyes out. And notice that I'm gaining and I'm losing things as I'm adding. So that's okay. That's also part of this detail process. Nose, I want to pay close attention to. I want to get the nose going. So that's this kind of warmy orangish ground. There's like this little triangle right here. Maybe even a little bit. I grabbed a little yellow. The trick with the nose, it's a funny little shape. And then burnt sienna and burnt umber. So what I really want to do now is get that shape of that nose. I'm very grateful I'm looking at this thing upside down. That's required because it's making it a lot easier to see the shapes for me. So see how I'm kind of expanding the nose out? Do I have it exactly in the right place? We'll see. There's a cute little nostril here, but really what we're going to do is lighten with a slightly burnt umber. So with my dark, I'm going to add a touch of light to it to make it a little bit more gray. So I can let those, yeah. Kind of mixing a little bit with what I've already got. So see how I'm kind of pulling out those little dark, cute little snotty holes. I'm adding a little bit of light that will help see on either side. Just like a little build out. And with little light areas. From the eye, around the face, and here. Oh yeah, now he's starting to come. You guys see how that's happening? Just a little build out. Look at his cute little face. I'm gonna stop here for a moment. I'd love to, I'll take a picture so you can see it up close. I want you to set, if you've got any questions as you're working through this, I want you to send them over to me, or, just keep on working. I'm gonna take a little break, get a little bit more coffee. Be right back. Hi. Yeah, buddy. Oh. Um, one of our boys, our most sort of, I say, most regular boy stray came in with a big cut on his cheek
Oh,
the other day. I know, and it's bad for cats, but he's really perky. And I've been
we take him to
feeding.
the vet or?
I can't
But-
get my hands on him. I mean, it's funny because he's like, right now, you should totally see him. He's like strutting around my studio and meowing at me. But if I were to get close enough to him, he'd run. Like he won't let
So
me
you can't
touch him.
even do anything about his cut.
Well, what I'm doing, because he eats what I feed him, is I've got this immune support stuff that you can get at the pet store.
Is it like lysine or something?
It's like it's like he seems to be perking up. Like it seems to be he's not like he's eating like totally healthy. I talked to the vet about it and I'm like, can you slip me some antibiotics? They're like, no. I just put them in. I like, look, I can totally put them in his food, and they're like, no. But you can
They're
go to the
annoying
pet
like that.
store. Well, but they're right, they are right in that sense. But you can go to the pet store and they'll give you these natural immune, sort of herbal immune support that are developed for kitties. So I'm now feeding it to all the cats and he's eating it and he looks great. He just rolled over on his belly for me so I could see the
Can you
scratch,
take a
which is-
picture of it?
of him?
You
Yeah.
get chance, please.
Oh, of the stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, but stuff.
Yeah, hold on a second.
You never know when you're going to need something like that.
Anyway, like boy, we call him Boy Muka because he looks a little bit like Muka, but he's a boy. He walks around, he struts, he goes,
You call him what?
Boy Muka. He
Yes,
looks-
yes.
Because he looks a little bit like Muka. And he's hilarious. There it is. This is the stuff here, and I've got the thing on the back. He's such a funny fellow. But he seems to have survived this one. I know it's really hard for cats to not. And then I thought, well, I might as well just feed all of them immune support so that they have a little bit. I know the stray kitties, it's not as good for them. So Mabel gets it and he gets it.
Why isn't it as good for them?
Well, I mean, it's better that they can go to the vet and get treated, right? Like,
Well, yeah,
with
but I mean, if you
antibiotics.
can't,
But it's
then-
like, yeah, but if you can't, like, if you can't, you can just give him this, and now he's back in eating. Here, I'll take a picture.
The fact that he's eating is a fantastically good
Like
sign.
vigorously. Here he is, head in a bowl. He's got that typical cross-eyed Siamese
Oh, thanks,
thing
Leo.
going on. Yeah, that's it. So anyways, the people at the pet store said.
Does
this
it
is
say, is there
really
a place, a part where it says what's in it?
good. Yes, I sent it to you. It might be hard to read those. So here. hold on.
No, what you sent me is not, it doesn't have the ingredients. It has
Oh,
how much.
yeah. Here, let me do that and then maybe I can expand it out so I can actually read it. Here it is. Here it is. It says alcohol, cedar flower essence. Oh, that's
Alcohol?
really good. Yeah, like for like a tincture. It's a tincture. It's like where they soak herbs in alcohol to extract their
Oh,
products.
tincture. Wait.
Cedar flower essence, chamomile flower. These are great. Glycerin. This is excellent. Nasturtium, pansy, St. John's wort is excellent. Water and wild rose flower essence.
St. John's wort, actually, Lion is highly allergic to.
Yeah.
I used to have some in my garden, and his face would
Really?
sometimes look like it was completely burnt.
Oh, when he chewed on it.
No, he could just rubbed against it.
Wow.
And the vet couldn't help me. In the end, I went through every single plant in my garden. I looked which ones were toxic to cats, and then I looked which one, and most of them were toxic if they ate it. This
Right.
was the only one
Where
that
if
had
you
a skin
brush
reaction.
against it.
And it can like make you feel like your skin is burning. His face was raw.
Oh,
it
poor
was the
little
absolute-
guy.
That happened like 2 years in a row, and then I finally figured out, pulled them all out, planted them in the front, gave some to our cleaning lady, and he never had it again.
Yeah. This is, I have more to say on this. I want to talk about Onyx piece for a second. Onyx, you're really starting to get here. I like it. Now you're going to want this kind of rough edge. Be careful. I like your,
Oh, yeah.
and you could, and I really love how this purple of your wings. So don't lose too much of that pale violet that's over there. I think it's going to ultimately really read together. Yeah, we might also glaze back your white a little bit on the body because it's bright, but that doesn't, but look at how bright it is when you like add in, it looks so nice. Looks really great.
I think I'm gonna anyway go through with some layer over this brightness. because,
Yeah, but it's
so
nice
so it's
to,
not like in chunks completely.
yeah, it's nice to have it though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice
Yeah,
to
this is
have
the
it.
most difficult part.
It is
How
the
to-
difficult part. That's why I thought we should spend a session just doing it. And I'm not sure I can even, any more than, I think what I can tell you is kind of just feeling through it with you as I try it myself. I was just looking at some Andrew Wyatt paintings, he does those wheat fields. And I was like, they look so realistic. And I was just looking at them to see, how does he do his grasses? Because they're
Oh,
so
how does he do them?
but I mean, I can just almost picture the tool, the brush he's using, like it's good to look in with a really analytical eye at what you
What's
think
his
he
name?
did. Wyatt, Andrew Wyatt, the famous one, super famous painter. He did the one of he did a lot of paintings of a crippled woman in the wheat fields, people laying down in wheat fields.
Yeah,
Here, I'll pull a couple pieces. And I'm always like, how does he, when you look at his wheat fields, how does he get there? Anik, you can see I'm adding a little bit more light around. Let me see if I can find any quickly that I can pull off the web for you. It's funny, there was a phase where I felt like everyone was trying to paint like Hopper. And then, but Wyeth is really getting a new resurgence because of these pieces like this one here. Hold on. Christina's World is his most famous painting.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing stuff now.
Yeah. It's famous. You'll recognize it when you look at all they're kind of stark, but really, I can't make this impossible. I mean, look at this one. Get any of them. Maybe I can just show them here. Look at these. I mean, this is an Andrew Wyatt. I know you can't really see it. As an American painter, he's probably the most, is he American actually? I'm assuming he's American. He is his work has really had an influence, and he does all these wheat fields that seem to be like a single plane, but they totally aren't. You feel like you're in them. He does a lot of people sleeping in the wheat fields. Christina's World is this crippled girl who's laying in the grass looking at a house, and but you don't know she's crippled. You just think she's laying in the grass looking at a house.
But how do we know she's crippled then?
Because we know the story, because he tells the story. Yeah, she's kind of she was a very modern model of his, and kind of a famous model. Oh yeah, his just were, yeah, look up Andrew Wyeth. mean, look at it. Look at something like this in real time. Look at that. I mean, all of that depth in those kind of those like what sort of appear to be monotonous green fields. Really, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, you think, oh, I could never paint like that, but then you might look at it as a painter, you can look at it and go, oh, wait, I see what he's doing there.
Yeah, no, I love doing that, sort of looking at how people, if they see something that impressed me, try to
Right?
figure out how they did
And
it.
you can figure it out a lot of the time, right? Like not
Sometimes.
all the time, but like a lot of the time. And then if you can't figure it out, it's like, wow. Wow, bow down to you, man.
It's nice to be able to look at videos because then you figure out a lot faster.
Right, and you can go back and look at it again.
I used to do that. I used to, when I was sick particularly, I used to watch videos and I always think, oh, it takes a long time. So I would start like, you know, moving with my finger much faster.
Mhm.
And suddenly I'd look at it and I go, whoa, hold on a minute. Suddenly it looks fantastic.
Right,
And I then go back to the part where that fantastic happened.
right, and it's usually like 1 or 2 strokes, right? Just
Yeah,
right
it's something
layout.
very simple. I think most of the time I would say it's where, you know, like you need 3 tones for it to look 3D.
Mm-hmm.
It's where that happened, where the
Yeah.
third tone appeared.
Yep.
3 values, I should say. 3 tones.
Yeah. I think that's all right. 3 tones works too. I actually felt that start to happen with my painting here when I got these circles in and some of the white around and a little bit of the light. It's really kind of amazing. All right, so with the ear here, I'm going to start. There is a kind of dark outline around the edge of the ear. I might sort of push that back a little bit later. So I'm going to start with my normal. Yeah, you can see right here, this mark is too thick, but that's okay. See, that line is too thick, but I'm going to push it back. I need to get it in there. So this ear comes forward. So I start with that line. Then I'm going to mix cadmium, orange, a little bit of, quinacridone red, a little bit of ochre, touch of white, maybe a touch of burnt sienna too. So I've got this kind of reddy orange. And now see, I'm going to come back in and cover up most of the line, except in a couple of places. A little bit more white. So see how I'm just cleaning up that line, getting rid of most of it, but I still feel the line. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Look at how much significantly different. If you look at my other ear, you can barely see it. Outline, and then I pull the line back, and then I can get this little dark bit in here, right? There we go. I'm going to try that with the other here too. I'll be right back. Coffee first. Also, chance to get away.
From whom?
Exactly.
All right, I'll show you, I'll do the other ear so that you all can see that. So you have this if you want to catch that again, what kind of happened there. Once again, I'm going to start with like ultramarine blue, my dark, which is ultramarine blue and brown. And I'm going to start with the shape. Starting with the shape like this, with this kind of too strong, and the ear kind of comes in, right? Like that.
I'm back.
Hi, Diana.
But we didn't know
I
you'd
missed
left.
No, I said, there you go. I
it. And it's
didn't
like, thank
leave
you
it.
guys for not missing me.
Yeah,
Did you
I got
take
the
Sunny
phone
out for
call.
a little walk?
No, I got the phone call that I had to take.
Anything interesting?
Nah, not really.
Not, it wasn't Joni
But
Mitchell's
meanwhile-
people saying yes?
Meanwhile, while I was talking, I fixed my fan in the ceiling that wasn't working.
Well,
And I
great.
was so stressed out because it was
You mean
brand.
you climbed on the ladder?
No, I didn't,
You
because
climbed on a chair?
it's in this room. And I
But isn't it
suddenly
high up?
thought, I had tried everything, some power mistakes, and I pulled the chains and no, nothing was working. And then I'm looking up when I'm talking on the phone, and my easel is against one of the blades. So I couldn't move. So that was all that was wrong with it. So I've repaired my fan by moving the easel.
Oh,
Ah, that's it.
That was
can you
it.
imagine if you'd called somebody who was going to charge you a lot of money to do
Yeah.
What
Well,
I
I
love
was-
is Sandra immediately went to, all right, Diana, did you hurt yourself?
Oh, no, no,
You
because
do.
Diana always lectures me about climbing on
About
ladders,
climbing
which,
on ladders.
which I have to do a lot because of cats. And, you know,
Right. That's
I mean,
so
like
funny.
particularly the fat.
I love that. That was just a very cute like gesture. So what I've noticed is in my capture of my thing, I've kind of lost my wing. So I'm pulling on this side. So I'm actually pulling the wing back by outlining in dark because the wing is kind of dark and pushed back. I know there's light parts of it and a little bit cutting into the body here. Yeah. So notice this. This is a great lesson if you're watching this on corrections. Because corrections in painting, look, I'm like totally painting into the background now. And actually what I've really decided is this needs to get a little bit more straight. There we go. So now I can kind of re-carve out things that I lost. Okay, that's a little far. So now I can go in with my, my background here. I can even scrub out so see how I'm going back and forth between the background and the actual wing. I think painting is one of those things where the most interesting thing about it is that you're thinking about the thing next to it as well as the thing that you're painting. So you'll often find that the solution to your problem comes from the thing next to what you're trying to do. And maybe my ear I moved my ear. I'm gonna have to move my ear in. I think my ear might be too, let's see. Yep, my ear is way too far. Let's try it again. Well, let's see. I think I was very attached to my ear and I didn't want to move it, but I have to. The big problem is my ear is in the wrong place. So there you go.
Nope.
It's just scooted a bit too far. So now I've got to put it, oh, right. And if I'd really been looking, I could see it's lined up with here. So I'm getting rid of my ear. And now you get to watch me paint an ear again if you missed it the first 2 times. I really didn't notice it until I was like, wait a minute, how do I fit this bulky wing in there, make that line go straight and not keep going so far out? So there you go. That's the answer. Move your ear. Anyway, that's how it goes in painting. So this is great because now you really get to see a muck up and then a fix.
Oh, my
And there's-
bird is so shitty.
Do you want to send it in? Do you need some help?
I don't think I need help, but I can send it in. It's
Send
really
it in.
shitty. It's really shitty.
It's a challenge, this bird.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go.
What's wrong with it?
everything.
What I found looking at it is that the colors of a background sometimes in that painting, kill the colors of a bird. I found that in Rollo's one as well.
Yes,
Rollo.
yes.
It looked
Yeah.
fantastic and then the background killed it. It's because
He's
it's
like,
a blue and there's
yeah,
a turquoise.
Yeah, but it is really a gray background, and I don't know, my colors doesn't come.
Yours
in-
was actually a bit better, Diana, but last time I saw it.
Oh, well, I have changed it, but it's not good yet.
it's funny. Rollo has been a while since he's been to class, and you could tell he's a little bit like, oh, like you know how when you're not been in class for a while, And
I think it's mostly, yeah, I feel that today actually because I haven't painted in a while. But actually, Rollo is very good, and you could tell. I mean, that bird looked fantastic. But then I think that's actually an artificial background. I want to say, I don't know.
okay, Adi, this is looking great. Now I want you to glaze everything. This is the moment.
Whoops.
Orange.
For the second time.
Yeah, orange. Push back. Yep.
I just fixed the wing.
You just fixed the wing. Don't glaze the wing.
Oh, yeah. So now you can see how.
Yes, I can see. You're working it. You're working it through.
Yeah, we.
And if this makes you feel any better, Anik, I just looked at my other ear, which looks so beautiful, and realized it was in the wrong place too. So there you go. See, I'm totally painting over it.
The only
and
thing I
moving it.
think, Diana, is I still think the blue of the sky does something to the bird. Maybe because it's similar values. I don't know. I don't know
All
enough
right,
about theory.
The colors are nothing right now. It's just
Yeah, she's talking about structure.
Yeah.
The
colors
Diana,
will
what
all
I
change.
will tell you about this, and what everybody struggled with on this one, is getting the sort of size of the head correct.
Yeah.
And getting, so really the head isn't big enough.
Yeah.
And
see
that's like, yeah, so I would go back in there and like,
I can see that.
yeah, it's the head's not big enough. That in that drawing, everyone missed that, every single one, and we measured,
And
but
the eye is not big enough either.
that because the head's not big enough.
Yeah.
So there's like, so do you want me to send over the original sort of measure sketch so you can just look at where everything is?
No.
Okay.
I'll
Just make
work
her head
through it.
bigger. Yeah.
I'll work through it.
Okay, so look at this, you guys. Speaking of getting shit wrong. I'm like, God darn it. Okay. So here's where my first year was. And here where this green part is where my second year was. I just notice how easy it is to get off. When I say it's easy to like sort of move off things, I do not exclude myself from that.
Even when you're Madame Leah.
Even when I'm Madame Leah, yes. Even when, yes, like, oh yeah, I screw up all the time. And I was like, this is why I want you to really, this is why I paint with you guys, because I want you to see how easy it is to make these mistakes. So, okay, I'm moving it up. Hopefully this is better, but using the same technique. So anybody who's missed ears was really getting a lesson today on how to do ears, because I think I painted them 4 times now. Oh yeah, hardly never am I like feeling like I got it. In fact, if I feel like I've got it, I'm usually in trouble. That's usually the moment to say, uh-oh, something's not right here. It's so funny. There we go. Oh, Senor, what are you doing? Hermes is over here. You want to see Hermes for a minute?
Do you call him Senor?
Senor sometimes. Senor. He's trying to get into the cat food bag. Here, hold on.
Maybe he's hungry.
Oh, come on, Sophie. Just sit down. There he is. Here he is. Here, hold on. I'll pop myself up. He's just gotten so big.
Oh, you guys.
Say hi, everybody. I'm not a baby anymore.
I
I'm a
know.
big kitty. I'm a big kitty.
Oh.
But mommy still treats me like a baby.
Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna hold up something too.
Hi, Sandra.
Because I saw it.
Thanks for
laying
believing
there.
in me.
Look
You
at
grew
that.
up well, Hermes.
Look at that. That's Hermes when he was little.
Oh,
It looks fantastic. But
when was this?
Remember when we did that?
you should send it to Leah.
Yeah.
handle the headphones and him at the same time. Oh, that's him as a baby.
That's a great picture.
Mhm.
Yeah, he has a wild. He's such a wild.
Mhm.
We've really socialized him. What I think is really great is he's so socialized to people. So he's very like, he's just a very affectionate cat and very sociable and really wants to interact, not just with the other cats, but with us too. So he's very.
Yeah, he's a cute kitty.
He's a cutie guy.
Very.
Sunny, no. Sunny, no.
Maybe she needs to go out.
No,
Maybe.
she just wants attention.
That's what I say, but maybe she does need to go out.
Sometimes she misses a cue.
Yeah, sometimes I do. Okay, Sunny, I'm coming. I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming.
Yeah, can I just hold it up? And
Yeah,
show
yeah,
you?
yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know.
Let's see.
Oh, you have to.
Oh, yes, I think that's great. Yes,
Really?
yes, yes, yes. Yep, absolutely. So these colors, you have that warmth. And
So
these
if I need-
colors you can build
Right.
on. Yeah, don't worry, honey. It's just the awkward face. The look on your face is like, right, you're like, ugh. That's, I know. See, we all had to do that too, Sandra. Just so that you know, we all had to like go through that phase where we were like, ugh. We're now starting to pull out of that phase.
Oh, actually, I did the eyes. Maybe that will help us.
Yeah.
The
But
eyes.
also remember,
okay.
it's not about like kind of, you know how it is. It's not about like the immediate, the instant gratification. It's about, do I have the base where I can build the thing that I want to build? And you totally have it. So
Thank you.
yeah, you got it. You got it. I think that, I mean, that's my feeling about watercolor, right? That those yellows are nice and oranges are really nice to build upon, particularly with the warmth of his little coat.
Yeah, I'm glad we're finally doing him. I've been wanting. I took a picture. I mean, I selected that picture a long time ago.
I know, I've had it floating around the studio forever. And then I was like, what do we want to do? Really, what I liked about it was that he's upside down. So I was like, ha! Everybody
That's
will be
like
forced,
that's what he likes to hang.
yeah, and so you can work on, so we can, it's just easier to work on things upside down.
Mm.
Actually, I'm working on him the right side up
I know, I think that's hilarious.
because of a face.
I glazed his belly and face in orange.
How's it look?
Very orange.
Good, good. Okay, so now,
I'm not touching the wings because they
don't
have
touch
this
the
shade
wings,
of
they're great.
violet that I really like.
Yeah, no, they're really great. How'd you get that color? Did you mix it or do
White
you have it?
plus burnt sienna, and it's
Mhm.
on this previous glaze that was basically ultramarine and alizarin crimson.
Oh, nice, interesting.
So that's it.
So a
And,
touch of blue, just to,
Mhm.
all right. There we
And-
go.
And on top of that, I used a little bit of Prussian blue mix
Oh!
with burnt umber.
Right.
So there's like I don't know how many
Hermes.
layers.
Start
Right.
again.
Give me just a second.
Sandra was right.
About what?
But
About Sunny.
yeah,
So much trouble.
Oh, Sunny. Yeah.
I met Sunny the other day.
yeah.
Diana.
Really?
Yeah. I drove to Diana. It took 2 hours.
Wow.
He gave me an air conditioner. She was really nice to me. I don't have air conditioner in this place. And usually it's not a problem because you can open up, but it's been so hot. And Diana gave me one.
Hmm,
And I got to meet her pets.
Not sure if we're,
You met Julia as well?
Yeah, but I didn't get to hold Julia, but she said hello from the
Sure.
doorway.
she did? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Is this your first time? It's not your first time at Diana's house.
No,
No, but it's been a long time. Jesus.
Hmm,
it's the
Right,
first
because of
time she
COVID.
met both Julia and
Yeah.
Sunny.
Because
Sunny.
you'd gone there under different pets.
Yeah,
Yeah, I met Lucia and I met
Chart.
Charlie.
Charlie.
And
Make you rest.
But we already lived far from each other, me and Diana, but now we really live far from each other.
Yeah,
But it
she said
wasn't
it
bad.
took like she said it took like 2 hours for you to
Yeah.
drive there.
We live 180 miles or something from each other.
Wow.
And yet, well, 'cause I'm actually-
120, right?
I'm like just a few feet into San Diego. If I go just
So
down
it's
the street, I'm
basically-
back in Riverside where I used to live. But it's
so
such
it's
a big
basically
difference.
San Diego to LA, yeah?
Yeah,
I drove at once. I went to look at a cat and I spent when I went
Okay.
to the Oscars. And
Uh-huh.
the next morning I drove and my God, I left at 7 a.m. and I hit the rush hour.
Oh God. You
We
would have
like
been there
3
forever.
3 hours.
Oh my God.
And
hope
I
you had a
saw-
good book on tape.
Rush hour isn't exactly what's happening, right? It's the stuck hour.
yeah.
And you know, I was in Los Angeles like 40 years ago, or more than 40 years ago, in late 70s. And already it was like that. These 6 lanes each side, freeway, jammed,
Yeah.
you're going at, 5 miles an hour at rush hour.
It's ridiculous.
I-
All right.
I've never seen anything, such large highways, and certainly not blocked like that.
It's just a lot.
But it
of
was
people.
very nice seeing Diana.
Yeah, it was
Because I didn't make this year's
Gala.
gala either. So
Well, there's another one. You have more time. You have one more chance.
Yeah.
Sorry to
no,
remind
I
you,
missed it. I
Diane.
really was sad I didn't do it.
All right, so you can
But
see
you got to
here.
work. You got to fly to Denver.
Yes.
So you
Where
can
is
see-
control? Va bene.
There we go. All right, there we are. Ears in the right place, basically. I know, because I measured to see what's the width between these two, and I'm comparing it to my height. And now, instead of, yep, it's just kind of lands a little bit right there. So there you go. A long lesson in ears. And now I've got the wings, so and it's also got a little bit of that pink. So I'm gonna try and add it in. Battery made on, oh, right, because I think all right, what time is it? We've got half an hour. Hopefully the battery won't run out. I thought I charged it, but it didn't.
Because you don't have like a plug where you are.
I do, but it won't reach. So
Try an extension
You
cord.
need an
here.
extension cord.
that's true. What, do I have an extension cord? That's too many things to think about. Now
You
you're
know,
all
they're
making
very
fun of
cheap on
me.
Amazon. If you check Amazon Basic, Amazon makes their own.
Let me double.
They're very cheap and very good.
Let me
Yeah.
check. I know I have some somewhere here. Hold on. I thought I had plugged it in, but then I noticed this morning that it wasn't, the plug wasn't quite. Normally I plug it in the moment I leave. Here, hold on.
This looks warm.
But you're happy where you are, Annika.
Yeah, very.
Good.
My neighbor gives me like vegetables every day. So I don't know what to do with them now. I'm like, what?
Gives you what?
Vegetables.
Oh, how nice.
No, it's really nice. It's squash and cucumber and zucchini.
Wow. Oh, that's really nice. You've made friends already.
Yeah, she's a woman. She's about my age, and
Oh.
she loves to share because there's a lot of things she can't eat anymore. So she enjoys watching other people eat it. So it's very nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
I get veggies from my tenants because they grow a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do miss, I had orange trees and lime trees and stuff and mandarin tree. I miss that. But I mean, the season was kind of, but anyway.
Yeah, you just have to travel to Chatsworth and I give
There you
you.
go.
Great.
By the way,
Okay.
what are these things there that it's got like these 4 balls there? Halfway down his belly.
Hmm.
Is that his sex or something? Or,
Both.
What
you know,
I
you've got
want to
these 4 black
see.
balls.
Or it's just the endings of the wings, like
what I thought.
with
Oh,
the-
isn't
with
he
the
like kind
crow.
of holding his
Yeah,
wings
it's the
together?
wing. It's the
Yeah.
wing.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's
yeah,
the
so I have
end.
two-
They have like,
Maybe it is the wing. Yeah, I think you're right that it's the wing.
So I have 2 things I want to show you, Ani. One is, since we're in this zone of like, sorry, I have it on a cord, but now it's like, anyway. Notice that, and I have to do the same, you have your wing down here. Notice this little negative shape.
Yeah.
Bring your wing up a little bit higher on this side, right?
Actually, yeah, right. Because
Yep.
I moved a little bit the wing down, and I moved the ear, and now I have to, I think,
Yeah, now you have to move it again.
sharpen the
Yeah,
shape there.
here, yeah, so here it
So
is.
there is
It's
also
like-
reflected light there, yeah.
Yeah, right
Mhm,
here.
there.
So bring it up and then here's that relationship to the ear.
Yep,
I'm just
exactly.
working on that right now myself. Lucky you. That's why I saw it.
Oh,
So I can nitpick about that.
Guys don't have flags anymore. We have to do it.
Yeah, right. So I'm doing the same thing. So yeah, there we go. Cute. Yes, now that's actually looking kind of nice. Yeah. I know I got white on here, so that's not there, but you can see there's still a nice little white reflective edge there. And then now I want to go back to that fan. All right. Now I'm going back in and grabbing a little bit of that, remixing, grabbing a little bit of that light. It's got 3 yellows, touch of burnt sienna, a little white, kind of up here, so I can reclaim that edge. See, like that And I'm using the fan because here's where these edges, this light edge is kind of coming over. Like where we really want to convey fur
Oh, shit.
is here. So Anik, that's the other thing. You're at this point now where you do want to like really get your fur on.
Yes.
And that's a tricky, but see how I'm kind of taking my fan, not too
Yep.
heavily.
Not too heavily. Yeah,
That's the key.
I think so. Now I just want to finish the belly so I can
got
also
you.
do the things. So I'm struggling a little bit with the size of this darker spot, like his
Yeah,
chest.
yep. I got you. I got you. Also, this is the moment to pay attention to the direction that the fur is going, which is kind of this way. Right? It's kind of swooping in, I think, because it's kind of. I daren't look at what time it is. How close are we to the end of class?
We've still got 20 minutes.
Oh, good. Thank God. I was like, Jesus, it feels like I've just been working and working and working these.
Whoops, I smeared my branch.
Okay. As I'm stepping back, I'm liking a lot more how this fur area is starting to work. There we go. Yeah. I'm liking this.
Mm.
All right.
Hänger de där ihop fingrarna?
Mm.
Absolut. Det blir bara inte så farlig skämning då.
Nej.
Det blir bara vanliga.
Men pratar du med någon?
Va?
Pratar du med någon?
Ja, nej.
Ja, vad sa han? Jag ska han åka idag? Eller?
Han åker idag. Jag sitter i LA.
Little Lizzo for your morning pleasure. All right. So one of the things I'm feeling like is my fur got a little bit pulled out here. So I'm gonna brush. I'm gonna take a little green, muted green with red and kind of push it back a little bit. So I'm pulling that back a little bit. It's real easy, like we said, to drift off and be like, oh, I got this. So I'm kind of working around my edges right now, just to make sure my little guy little fur isn't going out too far. I think that's better. And now I'm going to start working on the ring. So I have a different brush for this. Since I mostly have dark on my wings, I'm going to start with some lights and midtones. Also kind of working next to it. Belly. Belly fat. Were you guys discussing what this was over here?
Yes, I think it's the end of a wing, we decided.
I love
just
that we
didn't
don't
expect
really
to see-
know.
4 balls.
No, I think it's the end of the wing. I think we know that.
I love that we don't know them for sure.
It's like, it's very interesting. I remember like the first time I did a kangaroo, we have such a strange anatomy. And I'm used to doing cats and, you know,
Yeah.
or you don't do cats like wolves or dogs, you know, they have a certain kind of
Yeah,
anatomy.
little roll. Yep.
But these exotic animals, it's like we have no idea.
What is going on there?
I'm
Yeah.
sending it to you, Leah, see what you reckon. I'm still sending you to the thread.
Okay, give me just a second here, and then I will take a look. I'm trying to catch up because I feel like I'm a little behind. Monica, how's it going for you over there? You can send it if you need help.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what this is for. Send it over. Because you're not 11 years old, so you don't have too much pride. Fuck the 11-year-olds. My God.
We
they're
don't mind.
insane. They're insane. I'm fascinated and like kind of disgusted at the same time, which is how they feel, I think, a lot of the time. So if they have no fascination, unfortunately, they don't have the sort of advantage of getting to be fascinated. They just have to be.
Well,
fucking
not by
cool.
humans anyway.
What's that?
I mean, I think they get fascinated with other things.
Yeah. It is a really interesting age. I've been kind of curious myself as to why I agreed to do it. Normally, I just wouldn't.
Oh.
But I had that, you know, like I had people kind of beg me, and I've had so many kids in class, and it is true. They do need their own class. So I have a feeling.
Why?
Because they're
each
at a
time,
very
you know-
special, they're just at this weird kind of age where they can't, they're ready for instruction, but they're not all emotion, you know what I mean? It's just, it's weird. Such a strange.
Yeah, I fear that age, honestly saying.
Yeah, right? Because we all remember it for ourselves.
Yeah, in just 6 more years and I will be going through it all over.
God, that's gonna be, I hope we're all still painting together by then. That'd be neat.
Me too.
You'll remember that time, Annick, and and long for the time we used to throw up on the bed.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, you'll wish for those days.
I honestly saying no. I wouldn't like to come back to those times. Honestly saying
I
myself.
wouldn't. Yeah, it was pretty miserable for me. I agree with you. I'm like, ugh. It actually gives me the
Creeps, yeah.
heebie-jeebies.
It's
Yeah. It's like, ugh.
never ever. However, at that age, I painted quite a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's the advantage.
He's looking great, Leah. Yours.
He's coming along. Yeah. Now we're starting to get somewhere because I finally got the years right and can move on to other things. Thank you. I'm sorry, Sandra. Let me just get. I'm
No,
gonna
no,
get
take it
this.
down. I'm making coffee. I'm making coffee.
Okay, make a coffee. I'm gonna just get this part of the leg in.
I just put mine upside down for a moment, and it looked weird.
You mean right upside down, meaning right side up?
Yeah, like upside down for a bat.
Right.
It was weird.
All right, Annika, glad to see this. Okay. Yeah, Sandra, it's coming along. It's looking good. So Annika, let me see here. I think you got a little, here's my recommendation. Glaze everything burnt sienna to push your lights. Your lights got a little too light.
Yeah.
Right? They're not like, this is light. This is kind of more of a mid-tone. So I would say glaze this burnt sienna and then go back in and pop the very few lights. Here. See these little lights? You can pop those little lights out. The lights in his eyes. But this needs to come back a little. If you look really closely at this, and I'll send a picture up close so you can see it. The lightest part is really, it's not one full light color. It's light on the edge, and then it gets kind of mid-tone orange in here. And then it gets dark, and then mid-tone orange with a little light. Light, mid-tone orange, light, dark. You see what I'm saying? There's more variation that you're missing, and that's why you're struggling. So you got too light. So I'd say push it back a little bit darker. Light is, here, I'm sending it over so you can see it. Light is really the final touches. There you go. I sent it over so you can take a look at the face and really see where those light, medium, and dark. It's harder to see when you're looking up at a screen, but if you're looking up close, you can really notice it. And this is the time to notice it. It's so funny. I feel like what I think is hilarious about this is that everybody wants to get into the detail right away, but when you're not ready for it. But then when you have to get into the detail, people are like, I don't know what to do. You know, like it's this kind of constant game here.
Sorry, Sunny.
Like when you're supposed to get into the sort of detail of the light, medium, and dark, people don't really want to do it. When you don't want to do it is when you're not supposed to do it, is when everybody wants to do it.
Some stage, I'm just basically scared of going into detail. I
Yeah,
have the impression that I just will mess up everything.
right. So
It
we're
takes
all
me-
there. Then you
takes me a
get over it and you just keep going.
Yeah, but it takes me a moment to get over it. It's like sometimes actually the fact that we are finishing the painting a week later
Yeah,
gives me this space to walk around it, to look at it, because usually it gets dry on a bookshelf around.
exactly.
So I have to look at it every day if I'm working from home, especially. So
Yeah,
it gives me this moment like, okay, so this, get used to the painting itself also. The moment to
yes,
get used to
I
it.
know exactly. Just look at it. Yes, to look at it without that pressure of having to produce something in a time period. I don't even think we're gonna finish it. I'm gonna let you guys finish this one on your own or bring it to class and I'll help you. We're gonna work on a new subject next week. I think we've gotten the learning that I want to happen out. There we go. These are coming along. These are coming along. Singing a song.
Mine is
But I
not.
do feel like I got a chance to talk, to go through some, to help you guys with some detail work that we don't normally get a chance to do, which is why I'm wanting to do it this way. That's good. You know, we're always evolving what we're doing here because you guys are evolving. I have a gym teacher that does little classes 2 times a week for me. Right before this class, I take one. And today she just killed us with the and she said, but you guys are getting, you know, Leah, you've been doing this for 3 years. You guys are getting stronger. I'm like, great. Yeah. So I'm always trying to think of the way to torment you all just a little bit in the good way. Sandra, I think yours looks great. I think it's coming along. So now is the time to kind of look at the areas where you might need to add some sort of slightly bluer, you know, midtones. Kind of neutralize some areas, but I actually think you've given yourself a good opportunity to really create. I like this layering. I like how this layer is looking. Sorry. Then I started mid-sentence and then I started working on his nose and now I'm forgetting it.
I'm at the stage where it feels like for each stroke, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
You know that feeling?
Yes. Yes, like you're ruining it, but it's not, it's actually not what's happening, but it's what feels like what's happening. Yep. I'm just encouraging you. It's not really what's happening, it's just what feels like what's happening. You've got to get there, and it's because you're not sure which stroke is gonna lock it in. And sometimes you have to look at, sometimes you're like, oh, it looks terrible. And then the next day you're like, oh, no, that was it. You can't even see it in the moment, you know?
No. It's weird.
Weird. Okay. Oh, he's cute. All right. If you want to, oh my God, okay, now we are close to the end. Let's hold them up. Hold on, I'm going to remove the spotlight so we can get a little farther away. All right. Nice to see my dream team here. I was telling Ani when she showed up, like you got the, oops, wait.
I choose the wrong subject. I should have done what you do.
Oh, Anik, I really like how your light is working. Look at that. I'm going to push my light more.
Why?
It's dramatic, very nice. And Annika, that's definitely, did you do the glaze? And I can see it. Yeah, it's automatically. Sandra, that's a fantastic base. And Diana, you have got the head shape right. So you're correct. You're correct. Absolutely. What was that, Sandra? You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what to do next. I was going to do the background next, but
I would do the background. I would
Yeah.
do the background, and then you'll go back in and see what do I need to do to push forward,
Okay.
right? Like One or the other. All right, so we won't work on this one. We'll work on another one. Anybody has any suggestions? I'd happily take them, or maybe I'll go to my horse farm pictures and pick another horse.
What are we doing tomorrow?
I don't know. Any ideas?
Something might get in the way tomorrow. I have to go
I
through some
need-
electronics.
I need a good black and white, so I'll take a look at it. I still was thinking it might be nice to try that dog again, since they did it in charcoal for the drawing to feel more comfortable, but I'll provide at least two alternatives. It'll be some animal. The husky, you know, the sort of husky dog from the side. It's got really great darks and lights. So, but it actually, you know what, that's a tricky one to draw. I'll look into it. I'll take a look. I'll take a look as soon as I'm done here and figure out something. You can see I'm just moving slow today. Summer is the moving slow. I'm not really moving slow in any other part of my life. You guys probably aren't either, but this part.
Do you mean this husky?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
But
we've done
it may
before.
be even no, we did it in charcoal.
Oh,
We haven't done it in ink yet. I'm trying to figure out. A lot of people are very new with ink, so I want to find something that's not so. I think the husky's a little too challenging. I'll find something easy, black and whitish. All right, you guys. I will. Great work. Good job, my dream team, my good little soldiers who come to every art class religiously. Unfortunately, Lotto had to take his daughter to the allergist on, they live in Ithaca, so they have to leave on Sunday to go for an early Monday morning appointment. So he will not be able to teach this Sunday, but he will be back the following, and he's scheduled for August and September too. So we'll have plenty
I'm
of time
looking
with him.
forward. I bought all the
The
material. now.
supplies,
Oh,
isn't that nice?
good.
I know.
And you know, this light box is fantastic.
It's so
which one did you
great.
get, Diana? What size did you get?
Oh, I don't know. It's
How much did it cost? $19 or
yeah,
$16?
$19
I
for
got it
it.
too.
And it's fantastic.
I got it too, but I haven't even opened it.
Right.
It's so light and it's so effective. And it was only 19 bucks.
It was even less during Prime Day, like 17 or something.
Yeah. Well, I
God,
didn't
that's
wait for
awesome.
Prime Day.
That's awesome. Yes. No, there's some great things. And I am not above scheduling Lotto for, well, hold on, let me stop this. If